Yo, what's up, guys? We're back with an interview. We haven't done one of these in a very long time, and the reason we came back and did an interview is because we potentially have one of South African wrestling's top rising stars, someone you may have seen around. He's recently become a new champion, and that is the great William. William, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Great to be here with you. Great to be interviewing you. Look, we've met very briefly before. I'm not sure if you remember my face, but I just wanted to find out who is William. How did he get into this wrestling scene? Because let's be honest, not everybody is into the wrestling scene in South Africa. Everything something that everyone wants to get into, but they don't go and make the full journey into it. So how did you find yourself here?
Okay, let me introduce myself. How many subscribers do you have, by the way?
1,080.
Okay, it doesn't matter. To the thousand, to the thousand idiots and peasants who somehow watch Stomp Wrestling for some reason, allow me to introduce myself. I am he who is great at everything that he does, first of his kind, pure natural, and the APWA Performance Champion. I am the great William, and right here by my left is a man who I'll tell you more about later in the interview, but then his name is Wade Alucard, and right here, the alpha female, Zandrea.
Nice to meet you all, even though a little bit of a sly dig in there. But anyway, we'll move past that. We'll move past that for the sake of this interview. Now, you've recently burst onto the scene, okay? I'm going to be honest, you came out of nowhere. This is not an insult, not a dig. You came out of nowhere, which is a good thing. It can be a very good thing. Now, you came onto the scene. How did you just burst onto the scene with this whole Rise thing that's going on? How do you come out of nowhere and just win the performance championship?
Yeah, see, what we've done is something that has never been done before, right? And okay, let me tell you more about Rise and what's
Let's hear it.
happening here. Yeah. See, we all basically started training around the same time, right? And while we were training, we realized that there's something wrong with South African wrestling, and this entire industry is rigged. There were a lot of gatekeepers around here, and we decided to take it into our own hands to change this business and everything that it stands for. And so we understand that if we want to change this, we have to completely break down the previous mold and build our own. And that's what Rise stands for, right there.
What gives you guys the right to come in with as much training as you guys have? I suppose there's various different levels of training within Rise, and to just think that you can break down something that has been happening since the 80s in South Africa, if not before then.
You said it, man. The 80s, come on now. It's 2024. We need something new. People need something new. Have you seen views? Have you seen how bad things have been around here? We needed something new. We needed Rise. We needed Wade Alucard. We needed the alpha female, Zandrea. We needed the great William. And so, are you surprised that we did this, or what's happening here? Are you questioning Rise?
I'm questioning the motives. I'm not surprised. I just think there's foundations that have been put in place. So why break down those foundations? Why not build on those foundations and rise everyone around you and not just yourselves?
I already told you we needed to break down the old mold that was here. You cannot teach an old dog new tricks. We need everybody to be up to speed with everything else. We need to be the face of South African wrestling as a whole. We cannot have all these old people that keep thinking that it's the 80s. It's not the 80s anymore. It's 2024. It's Rise's time. We have to change the industry as a whole.
Okay. I might touch a sore spot here, or in fact, maybe not a sore spot since you beat him for the championship. But if you look at someone like Alex Desire, he's young. He came through the mold that you had, that you are now wanting to break down, and he's been the champion for a long time. So did he go wrong somewhere? Is that what you're saying? Considering he's just as young as you guys.
What happened with Alex on the 9th of December, 2023?
That's why I said you beat him. I'm not discounting that. You beat him
Exactly
fair
my
and square.
point.
You made him
Exactly.
tap. So
did that.
you made him tap. I get that. But what I'm trying to say is, did he go the wrong path? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's lost. And
He's
we are
lost.
open to bringing him in. We can bring him in, teach him the new ways, but then as I said, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So that's going to be sort of difficult, but then, hey, we can work with it. You know, he learned his lesson. I'm pretty sure he did. But yeah.
So let's talk about Wrestle Madness now, because that's now your next challenge, your next obstacle for, I suppose, yourself and the rest of Rise. Yep. Is there anybody coming for your title? Is there anybody you've got in mind for Wrestle Madness, or are you just playing open cards right now?
So about that, personally, if it were up to me, I'd just sit at home, take a paycheck, and like not show up. Because why wrestle if you have the championship, right? That makes sense.
But are you not in the game for the love of wrestling? Is that not what this is about?
Shut up. You don't know nothing about being a champion. I'm telling you right now. You'd rather sit at home and take a paycheck. But then, since I'm a champion, I'm contractually obligated to wrestle at this stupid show. So what I have here with me is a contract that I have already signed, right?
Okay.
And it's an open contract. So I was asked to pick my own opponent, but then I don't have time to go scout out everybody that's training and stuff. So I already signed the contract, and whoever signs this part of the contract gets a match for the performance championship. And that's what's happening. Personally, I'm not impressed. I'm a champion. I should be treated better than this. But then, hey, we'll work with what we have. That's what we're doing here.
Are you not worried about the fact that it's an open contract? So, is this contract going to be signed on the night? By that I mean you don't have time to prepare for your opponent. I see a lot of laughing in the background, but I think this is an honest question. You need to prepare for your opponents.
When I say I am he who is great at everything that he does, the first of his kind, the pure natural, I mean that. Calling myself the Great William is not just a stage name like the BeanieBoy or Wrestledrop. It's not. I am great. I am what I say I am. If I wasn't, why would I say I am, right? So I'm not really worried about no challenger. I've seen everybody work. They don't really impress me. They are really good. Don't get me wrong. They're really good at what they do, but then they're not a part of Rise, and that says a lot right there.
So you're saying there's nobody in that APWA locker room that potentially puts fear in your heart, strikes a little bit of uncertainty in your head? Nobody.
Besides these two people, there's nobody. There's absolutely nobody.
That's what I was going to ask next. Since it's an open contract, could a member of Rise potentially sign that contract and cause a bit of issues between you guys?
What you trying to do here? Trying to stare at
I'm asking a question. You mentioned them.
What are we doing here? Trying to stir up the pot? No, Rise is a family. We run together. We don't betray family. We don't do that around here.
So, the same way you want to break down the foundation, do you not think someone within Rise who's maybe on the lower ranks of Rise wants to get their way on top and might break down your guys' foundation within Rise?
See, that's where you're wrong. There's no lower ranks in Rise. We're all at the same level here. Right here is a man who nobody will ever survive. A man who breaks you down physically and mentally. Wade Elukai, he's that good. He's at a different level. Right here is the best female to ever set foot in APWA history. The alpha female, intimidating all men and women alike, because she's that damn good. So I don't know what you're talking about. Lower ranks. There's no lower rank. Maybe in your crew, maybe in Stomp Wrestling, there's like a lower rank. BeanieBoy, of course, at the bottom, but then that's story for another day. But then, come on, we're all at the same level here.
So there's no leaders of Rise? Not even you being the champion? Or do you see yourself as the leader and maybe other people don't see you as the leader?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try and stir
It's
up the
just that
pot.
I have to ask the questions that the people want to hear, and people want to know more about Rise. And to understand Rise, we've got to understand the hierarchy that you say doesn't exist, but there's always a hierarchy. People always know who the leader is, even if it's not said. So I have to ask those questions.
Well, maybe you should watch what happens with Rise to know who's the leader of Rise. Maybe that's what should happen from here onwards. Why don't you watch Wrestle Madness and see who takes charge of the group? Why don't you do that?
Speaking of Wrestle Madness, I just want to put it out there. 26th of January, Wrestle Madness at the Donny Van Sale Recreational Center. You can see William potentially lose, maybe retain. There's a lot can happen. His title. Of course, Anansi is taking on Zizou for the world title. Do you have any thoughts on that match, or is that not Rise's concern?
See, that was supposed to be me on that card because I was almost I almost won that match. I don't know if you saw the number one
The Rumble.
contenders.
Yeah.
I almost won that, right? I was that close. That close.
Questionable.
And hey, come on, man, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
Hey, man, there's been lots of shots at Stomp here. If we were in person, maybe I wouldn't say these things, but over the camera, maybe I can say a few more things. Yeah,
because you're a coward. You're a coward. You look like a coward.
Man.
Yeah, you look like a coward. Of course,
I'm not gonna...
Of course you're gonna say those things because it's a Zoom meeting. Come on, man.
Yeah. So back to my question that you ignored.
Okay.
Anansi versus Zizou. Do you have any thoughts on that match?
We'll just have to watch and see what happens with that match because it's very interesting. Maybe we show up and ruin the entire thing. Who knows? But we're trying to break down the old mold, right? We're taking out the old guard, so we might as well just do that.
Okay. That's very open-ended, but we'll take it. Now, this is your first title defense, am I correct in saying that, coming up at Wrestle Madness?
Yep, it is.
Now, they often say the first title defense is the toughest title defense, both mentally, physically, and all of that, actually just taking on the weight of being a champion. Is that worrying you in any way, or do you think you'll breeze right through it?
Man, you're not a professional. You're not a professional. You should have given me MPK, whatever his name is. You're not a professional. Yeah,
because you remember his name.
I already told you that I'm ready for this. I don't have to prepare. I'm always ready. I am the great William, meaning I'm great at everything that I do. Come on. I'm ready for Wrestle Madness. Bring on whoever. Hey, bring on the Hulk or bring in Spider-Man, whoever the hell you want to bring that person in. I'll beat up anybody. Bring in BeanieBoy. I'll beat him up. I don't care.
You bring up a lot of BeanieBoy, but this is not an interview about BeanieBoy. This is an interview between Wrestledrop and William, or the great William. Let me give you your full name there.
Wrestledrop. Yeah.
Look, the reason I asked about your first match is because we haven't seen how you perform with that title around your waist now. There becomes a certain level of responsibility. And I'm not sure if you felt that responsibility, if there's any responsibility, or if you just feel the exact same way, just with a piece of gold around your waist.
See, when you're as good as the great William, when you're as great as I am, you don't have to worry. I am literally the fastest rising star in APWA history. Nobody has done what I've done in APWA, ever. Nobody has ever done what I've done. Winning the title in your first 5 months, nobody has ever done that. Have you ever seen anybody do that?
Nope.
No, exactly. So when you're the best, why do you have to worry about everybody else who's at the bottom? Why do you have to worry about people who are training to be the best? Come on. You're with Rise. You're going to win. You're going to be the best. In this group, it just comes with the package. You're just that good. When you're in Rise, you're just the best.
Speaking of Rise, are you going to need Rise by your side at ringside for the match, or are you going to take it out solo?
See, at this point, I'm just having them ringside is like giving them a front row seat to watch what I do to my opponents, because we don't really need interferences. We don't do that around here. We win our matches clean, right?
I hear that.
We don't interfere. No. So yeah, I don't really need them ringside, but then if they are ringside, that'll be to watch what I do to whoever's gonna challenge me for the championship.
William, how would you describe your style of wrestling? Because we know there's many different ways of wrestling, styles of wrestling, and you said you guys don't need interferences. So
Yep.
how would you describe your style specifically?
See, I am the best technical wrestler to ever set foot in this place, right? There is no limb that escapes the holds that I put on. There is no, come on. Once I grab on that arm, it's done. It's over. We've seen it time and time again. Once I grab on that arm, it's done. Hey, I'm the best technical wrestler to ever set foot in this place. And you cannot question that. I'm like, yeah, but then come on. I almost said something bad about you, but then I feel sorry. Let's just
Wouldn't be the first time in this interview, but we can continue.
Yeah, let's continue. Yeah,
what are you doing in your preparations leading up to Wrestle Madness? Are you just taking it easy, taking a step back? Because like you said, you don't need to wrestle when you're the champ, but you need to train while you're the champ.
So far, I've been celebrating the championship victory, having a couple of, hey, come on, yeah, you probably don't know, never mind. But then, yeah, I'm a champion, and by the way, we're changing something around here. Not the APWA. It's not the APWA Performance Championship. It is the Rise Performance Championship now, and that's how we go. Hey, I told you we're taking over. We're taking over this place.
Was this approved by management in APWA, or is this something Rise has taken upon themselves?
You have to be the guy. You're the man in HR. You're that guy. Come on, man. Come on.
Just asking the questions. Just asking the questions.
We don't care about management. We don't really care what they have to say. Come on. They're not Rise. They're not in Rise. So we're doing our own thing here. This is official. I don't care what they say.
Okay, well, with that being said, I think let's try and end it off with a bit of lightheartedness. I'm not sure if you really gonna continue with that, but I'm not sure if you watch any of the international products out there. They're not okay. You can carry on showing off that Rise title while I'm busy trying to ask you a question.
Hey, I'm listening, man. Come on.
Who would be a dream opponent for you outside of the South African landscape?
Outside of South Africa, who would be a dream opponent? That's a really good question. That's a really good question.
Finally, compliment.
The people that I look up to are either dead or retired. So looking at the current landscape, I don't really have much. I mean, like, I would have loved to have a match with prime Ric Flair or something, but then we don't have a Ric Flair in this generation now, do we? So
does that not contradict what you were saying earlier about breaking the foundations of old school wrestling?
I said breaking the foundations of old school South African wrestling. You're not listening. You're not a professional, man.
You see,
come on.
I'm listening, but I just want to get the specifics here so there's no misunderstandings.
Come on, man. All. Don't be that slow. Don't be that slow, guy. You have all your chromosomes right. You're good. Come on.
I think let's end this before it gets any further, because, let's...
Yeah.
William, thank you for the interview.
Yeah, have to go back to celebrating.
Yeah.
You'll just have the outro with them. I'm out here. Gonna have a couple of you-know-whats.
Enjoy that, William. Enjoy that.
Yeah, I want
to drink, baby.
I don't know what that was. That went downhill.